and stuff like that. Just talk a little bit about why you got into lawn snapping, and kind of, why did you pick Albany? What made you fall in love? You talked a little bit about the coaches and stuff like that, but what are some other factors and things that, got you into lawn snapping, but also, why you ended up deciding to go to Albany?
So for getting into long snapping, there was a point in time in high school, not high school, middle school, like probably like right around seventh or eighth grade. There was a point in time where I did not want to play football anymore. I was not having fun with it. I was, I didn't like hitting my head against helmets. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
the head on head contact. I hated it, man. Like I just didn't like it. And I remember my grandpa taking me to see a varsity high school football game, and it was just me and him at this game, and like I was like mind blown. I was like, holy cow, this is awesome. Like I got to play football. And then the next year it was eighth grade, and I was like I said, like that's when I learned how to snap. And I'll always remember that, because if it wasn't for that point, I probably never would have been where I am. So after I figured that out, my parents were huge supporters in it. Like I think they realized the value of it more so than I did at that point. Like at that point, I was just thinking, man, this is cool. Like I like being good at this. Like I like playing.
Yeah.
Like we'll see what happens. And my dad and my mom, I remember them just being like, oh my God, like we got to go to all these camps and like do all this stuff. And it was like super overwhelming. But we ended up going, summer after summer to all these different specialist camps and all this stuff, man. And I probably, I don't even know where I'd be if they hadn't pushed me to be the best football player I could be. My dad is really my coach. Like I don't think there's anybody in the whole state of Pennsylvania that knows more about long snapping than him, and he never even played football. You know what I mean? Like that's how invested he was in us. Me, Stephen, and Blaze. And it's just wild. It's without the support system, I wouldn't have gotten nearly as into it as I did. So, that's really what kind of pushed me to nosedive into the whole thing is my parents' support, and like when I was getting recruited, there's a couple of different schools, and I remember Coach Byam at the time was a special teams coordinator. And I remember he visited my high school sometime in the springtime before my senior year. And we were talking, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, I don't even know where Albany is. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea who Albany is.
Yeah.
And I didn't talk to him for months, man. Like, I'm talking like he probably came in like March. I didn't talk to him until probably December.
Wow.
Or November. So he shoots me a text, and he's like, hey man, just wanted to reach out, like let you know that you're still the number one, long snapping recruit that we got. At that point, I was like, all right, maybe I should start thinking about Albany. Yeah. So went up on a visit, and I love the place. Like I love the coaches. Coach Byam's the man, and him and Coach Cattuso just kind of believed in me. And that was different than the other experience I was getting with other people, like I was getting, oh, well, he's too small. He doesn't snap fast enough. And I've always had a chip on my shoulder because of people like that, people that didn't believe in me. And that's also why I owe the world to people that do. I'll never forget. I still see I got their names on a little list in my head, like people that didn't think I was good enough or didn't think I was big enough. And that kind of drives you, man. It drives me nuts. I love being doubted and proving people wrong,
Yeah. But, do you think that's helped you kind of like propel you to where you are today? Is those those people that have not, and getting a shot at the NFL? I mean, think about all those people who like, oh, you can't make it on our team, you're too small, other things. I think that's an awesome part about being an athlete is that, even coming out of high school, we still have an opportunity to grow. We're not, we still have a very high ceiling to be able to do that. And I think it's awesome to sometimes I wouldn't say it's awesome to be under recruited, but I think it puts out the best in people who want it, and who want to drive more. I mean, you just saw in the Super Bowl, like Cooper Cup, who's FCS receiver to Eastern Washington. He had 0 offers out of high school and stuff like that, and led the NFL in receiving, won the Super Bowl MVP, all these things. Everyone said, he can't do that, can't do that, can't do that. And now he even said that coming out of college. And now he's, technically was the best receiver stats wise this year. Not going to get into best receivers because that's just whoever you think is
it's an endless argument.
It's an endless argument. I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole at all. But but I think it's just awesome to see all these, and I think that's important to anybody who's out there, just because you feel like everyone feels like they get under recruited for the most part, but what you do when you get to that place or that college, it's up to you to be able to work and drive to your goals. If your goal is really to make the NFL, you got to put in the work in like Tristian did for freaking 5.5 years to be able to do that and really work hard at that and do that. I mean, and go at the end of the day, go where you have a chance to play and where coaches believe in you. Don't just go based on the school. I think that's a big thing for both of us. I mean, even Tristian, it's like the UAlbany coaches believed in Tristian when anybody else didn't really believe in him. So that really helped propel him, gave him also the confidence to be able to work, have confidence, coaches and confidence in him and myself. Very similar stories where we both, really didn't have anywhere else to go. And UAlbany coaches believed in us and we decided, hey, use a chip on our shoulder to prove other people wrong, which I think is some awesome.